Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast. So therefore me
Just joking. Welcome to Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 81. Yeah! What's up? We in the building had to start it off with a jam.
Yeah, why did you pick that one?
I don't know, actually. Why did I pick that?
You were in between 5 songs, and then you were like, this is the one.
I don't know why. I don't know.
Okay.
Something about, I was listening over the weekend, and I think I just really was like, I want to start the show off with this because it puts me in a good mood. I don't know. I like the show Friends. It's good.
I grew up watching it. I've said it so many times on this podcast, but I have no desire to rewatch it ever again.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to watch it one time through once. I went through a binge where I remember watching it on TV when I was growing up, but I just wanted to know what it Oh, that's what it was. I was reading up on how people, they felt like the show Friends was such a staple in culture that it literally it shaped culture, the show itself.
Well, yeah, I mean the whole idea of it really emphasized the whole coffee shop hangout situation.
The Rachel, the haircut,
the
women
haircut.
wanted that haircut, every haircut she got. I got that far and I was like, it was getting mind blowing, how much people just cultural, humor and the way men and women interacted.
I was on a break, pivot.
Yeah, pivot.
Yeah.
I was on a break. We were on a break. Oh my God, Ross! If you say that one more time, you guys were not on a break. But
we all know it.
Yeah, but and also just the sad ending for Joey. Joey, ended up getting the spinoff. Spoiler alert. Joey got a spinoff called Joey that kind of just left him without a finalized story.
It was
I feel
bad.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Everyone lived happily ever after, except for Joey. So and also the band that made that song. I just think it's incredible that you made a song and then it ends up being picked up on one of the biggest sitcoms ever, and it just becomes
it becomes it's also such a cultural thing, the clap thing.
We're all
clap clap.
Yeah,
that's such a
just
thing.
Dancing around water fountains and a couch and
so
outside.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Anyways.
Even the frame around the thing. I saw
the frame around the peephole on the door.
Yeah, I see so many girls who use that kind of thing, or even I have a T-shirt that I also then got from my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That
no pun intended, right? You hear me? Yeah.
That's used. It's in the same style, and it says Jonas Brothers, and then it says the one where the band got back together.
Ooh,
so
that's clever.
That's a big thing.
I've seen the one where it says the Friends logo, but it says homies. And
yeah,
I'm
I've seen
fresh.
that too. Yeah, so the whole style of even the logo and everything has been used everywhere. Yeah, it's a cultural standpoint.
Yeah, and that's why we started the episode
there
with
you
it.
Go.
So shout out to all my friends, you know what I mean? All the homies. V, how are you? What's been going on?
I had a decently busy weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Friday, it was Taco Day, National Taco Day.
So busy.
So we went to this place called, quite simply, Tacos and Tequilas, because they had margarita flights on discount for Taco Day, and I actually ate some tacos as well.
TTs.
Yes.
For sure.
TNTs. Tacos and tequila. You tried it.
I tried.
But so that was fun. And then the next day I had a big a dance class at Turn Up. It's called Turn Up workout, and with a lot of my dance friends we did a big brunch afterwards. It was a lot of fun. Always an awesome time to have a brunch table of 20 women. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And then
can I come?
Yeah, there was actually a couple of guys. So
what?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went out with you.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, that one deserves a.
Yeah, I know we haven't done that in a while, except for Music Midtown.
That was a fun one. Yeah, I mean, we got together. What did we do? Because it was ended up
Yeah, because I just met up with you guys at John's house.
Yeah, we were writing a song. Me, you, JP.
Oh, yeah.
We were writing a song.
Yeah, you guys were all. Well, I was.
We're a little lit.
I was like watching. I wasn't writing any of the. I was not creating this music. I was watching. I think there's periods of time where like whoever would cycle out would talk to me, because then I was just like, I'm like, this is a small room for all 4 of us to be in here. But
we ended up going out late night, grabbing some drinks. I think when did you leave? I got a text from you the next morning.
You guys were passed out. I left at like 3 a.m. or something.
Jeez, that was a late night. What did we pass out watching?
Step Brothers.
Oh my goodness, it's either that or Wedding Crashers or This Is the End. It's
it was Step Brothers, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go home. And it was after like John made us some pasta. Like he had some pasta leftovers, and he like rejudged the sauce for us.
Dude,
it was great.
You just said pasta, like so funny. And then you said rejudged.
Pasta. Man. How else am I supposed to say
pasta?
But anyways, and then I went to the Taking Back Sunday concert on Sunday.
Rock out.
And I went with my friends Morgan and David. And David, he was living his full like middle school, high school fantasy.
Yeah.
But being able to drink and like went into the mosh pit and had a great time. I did not, because I don't.
You don't look like a mosher.
I'm not a mosher. Yeah. I don't like the idea
not
of
with
somebody,
those earrings.
No, not with my tassels. And for all of our YouTube watchers,
what's up?
Some tassels. It's like having hair to flip.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun too. I definitely it was like definitely the entire crowd at that show was like my age up to like maybe mid-30s, like because it was like that's like the age of people who like Taking Back Sunday. So it was funny because it was like all these people being like, yeah.
And also you guys watched it on a Sunday.
I know. I love that too.
I knew you did.
It was great. And we like are one of my friend Morgan's, her former coworker was the one who he drove us in his Tesla and everything, and he's got a nice Tesla, and you can like.
Why do you say Tesla?
Because I love Tesla.
It's Tesla.
Tesla.
No, I'm just only doing this to you because you said it. Why you call him Gucci Man?
Yeah, because that's not his fucking.
Well, it's Tesla. It's definitely no Z in there.
It is Tesla, but I don't know what I was saying. I guess Tesla, but I was like slurring. But it
now
has
we're even.
It has like a karaoke function in it, so you could like karaoke in the back.
That's ridiculous.
It was so fun.
Wow.
I just want a Tesla.
So
Sai.
What?
Here on our outline, you just wrote. I like have several. I have like several things that make up like a run-on sentence of items of what what I did, and you just have next to your name dancing.
Yeah, I.
Intrigued.
Yeah, no, I mean, really,
tell me about it.
Did I not dance on Saturday? No, I don't think I did.
Not really. It wasn't really dancing. I mean, like we might have like kind of grooved a bit. Oh, we were grooving a lot in the car ride to Little Spirit.
Okay.
Because like remember he was like playing us good music and he was like blasting it. Do you remember that?
No. Well, thanks for reminding me. No. Just on Friday, we went out for some drinks after being at Chef John's, and then we ended up going. There's like the place underneath Beetle Cat.
Yeah.
That like I think it's still part of Beetle Cat.
It's Beetle Cat.
The basement or something like that,
yeah, it's
or
just
whatever.
Beetle Cat.
No, they have. There's a name for it. It's like called the cellar, or the basement, or something like that.
I guess like you can still like when it's during the day.
Yeah, but they have a DJ there at night, and we just ended up dancing. I don't know. It just was fun. So yeah.
The way you guys, he looked at me like with this surprised face, and like I don't really understand what I was I was like, oh, is this my cue for something?
No,
I'm a little confused.
Anywho, I just wrote dancing. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Okay.
It was.
Do you like remember what you were dancing to?
I actually I'm trying to think
you
of.
Make me feel like dance.
No. You ever heard that one song with I don't know. It's T-Pain. I'm in love with a stripper.
Wow. Classy.
What do you mean classy?
I was, I didn't know. I guess I didn't know that was going to be the Beetle Cat vibe.
This one just gets you in the mood. Got the body of a goddess.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Anywho, yeah, that's all I had on the agenda, actually. So, all right, guys, welcome. That was our episode. Now, yeah, so that's really much all I got into. It's another long weekend at Chef John Mark's. I had a good time there. So, why don't we, I don't know, maybe get into, it's been a while since I caught a plane, but I might as well catch this one. Quick hits! What do we got for some quick hits, B?
And I'll actually be on a plane.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Missouri.
Oh, okay. I knew that, but our listeners might have not. Why did you yell at me like you already told me?
Well, don't act like you couldn't. You don't have to like set it up. Like you don't have to be fake about it. You could be like, "Oh yeah, you're going to Missouri." Like,
Whatever, dude. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I don't know what you want, but
you don't. I guess you didn't have to. I just for me, it seems ingenuine.
Okay, I'll do it later on in the show, and hopefully it comes off more authentic. But
authentic.
Why don't we? What do we have for some quick hits?
So,
We almost broke this last week.
We were so damn fucking close.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it happened. Like this is like kind of almost old news by now, but I don't give a
Stuff
shit.
has developed.
So Kylie.
Yeah.
And Travis.
Wait a second. Wait. No. What happened?
There's
no way.
It
Wait.
is.
There's no way.
Yeah.
What happened to Kylie and Travis?
They're done.
No.
I knew it. I
don't care actually. What happened?
So they
had a kid and they're like, all right, there's not much else we can do.
They just broke up. There's been a lot of different reports that haven't been completely confirmed yet that, you know, Kylie was trying to settle down more. Kylie wanted to have another kid. That Kylie kind of wanted a marriage, and like Travis wasn't like totally on board for all of that. I mean, they got pregnant. I think she like got pregnant maybe a month into them dating.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those
like
things
life
where
hits you fast, man.
Well, it's almost like there's both two different big stars. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Kanye and Kim too. Like they made it work, but it's affected Kanye's
Travis
career.
Scott, I feel like, he definitely got bigger after dating Kylie.
For sure. But you don't have to stay with her forever to like make it big. And so what are they saying? They're saying that he's already got a new girlfriend?
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I saw he already got it. He's like went back to like an old girl or something.
I mean, if you're him, yeah, I guess he probably is already hopping back into someone. Kylie, people thought that Kylie, like that following weekend that they broke up, was meeting up with Tyga at like the studio at 2 a.m. with some of her friends, but it just so happened that that's where their cars were, and so she dropped off some people there, like whatever, after they had all been at the club, and it was just so happened that Tyga was also at the studio, because she came out and tweeted being like, the internet makes everything to 100 times more dramatic than it really is. There was no 2 a.m. date with Tyga. You see me drop off my two friends at the studio, and that he happened to be at. So when I first saw the whole like that she might be going back to Tyga, I was like, girl, really? Don't do that. Tyga's so grody.
Yeah, he is, but I mean,
he's a little rap boy.
He got his claws into her before. There would be
when it was statutory rape. Yeah, indeed.
Yep. I mean, that's what it was. I don't know. There's no way to sugarcoat it.
That's there. Yeah. So I mean, I'm happy she's.
But good for him. Like he saw. Like I mean, would there be Kylie Jenner without Tyga? I mean,
she was already on. I mean, like there would be Kylie Jenner, yeah, for sure.
But would it be Kylie?
I mean, yeah, because her mom, it's Kris Jenner behind all that. Fuck, they brought Tyga on. Tyga performed at like one of their birthday parties when they were 13 and 14.
I mean, Tyga's come back without the Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? I think like the moment he was with the Kardashians, I don't know if that was his biggest moment.
No.
But you know, I think
Taste. Circa last year.
Yeah. Rack City, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so well, we'll see what happens with that. They got a kid, so there's not much to be said there. I hope they can, you know.
Yeah, so they're just saying that they're
amicable.
Yeah, they're gonna work on, you know, that's what they're focusing on, is that Stormy's their number one priority, and that like they're gonna co-parent as well as they can.
We saw that coming probably.
Which like, I mean, we've seen, you know, Scott Disick and Courtney co-parent very, very well, so
it's a lot easier to co-parent when both parents are rich.
Yes, I would agree. Just like it's that much easier to get pregnant at 20 when, you know, you're rich as well.
Right.
Any whoozles.
What else we got?
James Franco.
Uh-oh.
2 women who were previously enrolled in his now defunct acting school, Studio 4, have filed for a lawsuit, are suing him and a couple of his other like partners in making that acting school for the acting school's environment of harassment and sexual exploitation both in and outside of the class. So a lot of like they were saying that there was different misconduct. Like I guess there was a specific class, a sex scenes master's class, which was personally taught by Franco himself, which, like, you know, if you're learning acting, like, this is an actual thing, like, this is, like, then it's business, cut and dry business. And, you know, and they wanted to be able to, like, learn how to do these different things, especially if they were auditioning for different roles. But what they said is that at no time did Franco or the masterclass provide students with any knowledge or guidance as to the logistics and sensitivities surrounding the filming of a sex scene. Like, they never did any of that kind of stuff, but all they pretty much did was ask the folks to, like, you know, undress and just start to simulate sex. And, like, there's a whole bunch of different things going on with, like, what he would ask of some of these female students to do for him, or different things, like, very much so starting to, not like Harvey Weinstein level, but, like, kind of the whole idea of, like, this is what Hollywood is, like, this is what you have to do to get jobs kind of deal. So
they didn't have to take the sex class though, right?
I mean, you don't have to, but, like, what
the heck do you, I mean, do you want to go teach a sex class? Because how do you teach a sex class?
Well, I guess it went into, but the whole idea is, like, what goes, like, they were going into it thinking, like, and how it was booked as being this sex scenes master's class, is that it was going to talk about the, like, SAG after, like, guidelines and, like, what, like, the different things, like, because there's some actors and stuff out there that don't, like, have in their different contracts that they can't film anything fully nude. They don't do this or that. So it's, like, kind of about, like, they thought it was also going to be about, like, you know, it was booked as being a class around, like, the sensitivities and, you know, what it's going to be like to audition for those scenes, what it's going to be like to negotiate these things. And it was just about, like, okay, get naked. And
okay, so what I don't understand though. What's the problem here? Because they could have left at any time, right? It's not like someone held them there and, like. That's my whole problem. It's like, all right, so you stayed for the whole class, waited how long to complain about it?
I think, it was other stuff about, I'm, like, trying to read all of this.
You're good.
I'm
not putting it past James Franco. Just don't. Get me
like,
wrong.
of course
I've heard
not. I mean, like,
things in the
James Franco is, like, kind of known for being a skeezy dude. But, you know, he's saying that there's nothing that was done wrong. I'm just trying to read. I, like, listened to half of this and then.
Well, I mean, I honestly think, like, when it comes to this type of stuff, it's kind of hard. Oh,
it was for more of, like, empty, like, he would make promises for roles if they did certain things, or which then he never fulfilled. And then he said, I guess he also threatened members of the school if they took issues with how he was running the class. Like, he threatened that, which the whole thing is, like, you know, people did these things because they're like, okay, this is, like, I feel like when you're in like, you're desperate to, like, make it in, like, the acting world, and you have somebody, like, you're, like, you know, a vulnerable person to somebody like James Franco, and, like, if that's why, like, that's why all the Harvey Weinstein things happen. It's because, like, you're like, okay, well, if I do this, then I'm not gonna make it anywhere, and I'm gonna have no money, and I'm gonna, like, be homeless and starving.
I get it. It's the power dynamic. You know, that this, I think, is the most issue. Yes, it does play a part in someone's brain, but at the end of the day, like, you know, some people should be smart enough to be able to not put themselves in situations like going up to Harvey Weinstein's room and staying in there, you know, or going to take a class, and when someone asks you to take off your clothes,
yeah, but
like,
I guess it was
like,
also, like, I think it also had to do with, like, they would lose all their money, like, they were spending a ton of money on these classes, and, like, there was, like, nothing protecting them. That's what this also says. Like, there's nothing, like, they were, like, duping them.
Like, I was gonna say, like, I think it's a fine line, because, like, those are type of scenes, like, you see those type of sex scenes that are really raunchy.
But, like, he wasn't actually, like, teaching them anything. He wasn't doing anything, and he wasn't, like, the whole idea of, like, how
if they're taking off their clothes and, like, having to moan and stuff like that, I could see that being an acting class. Like, I could see that being...
what's saying is, like, he was, like, making them just do things without, like, anything else what the class was supposed to be about. And, like, just, like, then, you know, if people said that they were uncomfortable, or, like, they're like, well, why aren't we going to learn about this? Like, why aren't you teaching us about this? He would threaten them and different things like that.
Well, I'd have to read more about it, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I've heard other stories about James Franco, but they're pretty, like, I mean, I mean, without proof, like, you know what I'm saying? It's all allegedly. What do we got for Miley Cyrus? I was seeing that she
Miley has moved on.
Yeah, so she's not dating that girl anymore.
So she hasn't been dating her for a while.
What's a while?
Like probably like a month.
A month?
Maybe.
Wow.
They dated, her and Caitlyn dated for like 2 months. I guess according to some sources close to Miley, she, you know, felt like their relationship went too fast, too soon, right after her and like as her and Liam were splitting. And so, but then now she's been seen like on lunch dates and stuff with longtime friend Cody Simpson. And they were like making out while getting an acai bowl. And now she's in the hospital currently with tonsillitis, and which I didn't know. I love it. With tonsillitis, and she's been posting to her stories of Cody Simpson coming in.
Dude, doesn't Cody Simpson look like Neil Patrick Harris?
A little bit, yeah.
What the heck?
He looks so different, like, because he was a big star when he was like a young teen. He was like kind of like an Australian version of
Well, Cody
Justin
Simpson
Bieber.
is the little brother of Jessica Simpson, who also has a little sister, Ashley Simpson.
No,
right? No,
no, this is not that Cody Simpson.
What Cody Simpson is this?
He's an Australian guy. He like
just some random Cody Simpson.
He's a singer. He was really big. I was just explaining. He was really big, like kind of during the same. He's only a couple years younger than Justin Bieber, and he kind of came up around the same time. And he's like known for like some of those other like kind of like.
I always thought he was like the younger brother of Jessica Simpson.
No.
I'm like, this is just another one.
So, and like people kind of like, you know, people were giving Miley initial backlash to see her like fucking making out with him in a lunch spot. And then, you know, she posted her stories being like with these little check marks, like check Australian, check 22, check, like whatever. She's like, and then she was posting all these things being like, you know, if I was like a rich white man, would you guys be saying the same thing? Like they bounce from person to person just the same, like going into all this stuff. And now she's like already calling him her boyfriend, like with the whole tonsillitis stuff. He's been like coming to the hospital with all of her stuff, and like it's been a whole thing. So it's just like seems very whirlwind, which I feel like is Miley to a T. I don't really know if she doesn't do anything whirlwind, but
yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know why she has to even respond, like, you know, about the dating stuff. It's like whatever. At this point, you would think like, you know, after dating a girl, after dating Liam, like so publicly, it'd be like, whatever, just talk about it.
yeah,
right?
I know you would. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why she responded. I mean, like I think she, you know, people are like saying stuff to her, so she wants to, like, she's very much so like I want to set the record straight myself kind of person. So I'm sure that's just kind of her vibe, and also, I don't know. I'm sure she just was. I feel maybe she's bored because she's like sitting in the hospital right now. So
yeah, cooties will do that. That sucks. Australian cooties too. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the only kind she likes, I guess.
Jeez. Oh man. So Juan, that's crazy. Such another Australian?
Yeah.
Nah, man, you can't do that. Okay.
What do you mean? Australia is a huge.
I know. But you know,
I know,
like,
the entire place, it's all off limits.
But you know
anybody from there is a no go.
But don't you hate that though about dating? Like where you're like you date a certain type of person, and then you might like,
and then you just happen, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. So
you're
that's
like,
another Asian. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Yeah, you fall into it's like, oh, it's another black guy. Like you fall
you
into
got yellow fever. Yeah, exactly. That type of stuff. It's like, what? Come on. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny.
Anywho, what else we got?
Okay, so Taylor Swift, you know, had an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon this past week.
Yeah,
and
she was also on SNL and like killed like her performance. I love her.
Yeah,
you saw it?
I saw the clips of her performance.
Yeah, she sang it on a piano with a really dope like background.
Yeah,
like,
I saw like all the like
stuff. Yeah, it was really good.
It was cool.
It was impressive. I was waiting for her to just mess up one thing on the piano, but she killed it.
Yeah, I mean, she's been like playing piano forever. But so, you know, she thought she was gonna be on Jimmy Fallon, talking probably mostly about her appearance on the show, like whatever. But Jimmy Fallon and her mom worked together to get, like, Jimmy Fallon got a video from her mom from when I guess she just had LASIK done. And so she was like hopped up on the drugs post LASIK. and she was like had like kind of like the protective goggles on or whatever. And her mom took a video of her getting upset because she picked the wrong banana from a bunch, and so she was like,
what do you mean the wrong banana?
like she's like, this isn't the one I wanted, like, and like she was like just like losing her mind because it like she like because her mom's like, oh, do you want a banana, like whatever, and then like she was like, this wasn't the one I wanted, and then she's like, and like her mom's, you can't cry, like you gotta calm down, like we can't have you crying, but like so it was hilarious because like now that's been going viral, but like it was just all done, like it was like Taylor's mom and Jimmy who were like, okay, we're gonna surprise her on the TV show with this, which is like,
that's kind of jacked up.
I kind of love it though.
Yeah, I know,
because especially because like
but
someone
what if
like
Kanye and Kim did this to her?
well,
it would be front page news.
yeah. I mean, it is front page news.
I'm
right
just
now.
saying, for the wrong reasons.
And even like, so people think that Justin Bieber was kind of making fun of her because he did a video where he like recently, I think he posted it to his Instagram or something, where it's like him yelling in the background of like a kitchen or something, being like, but that's the wrong banana. And like,
He probably was.
and so people are always like, now people are like, oh, is this another like Scooter Braun's camp verse like Taylor Swift? And I'm like, over a fucking viral video of her being drugged out after her surgery, like, could we not?
I feel like Justin Bieber's been really weird on social media.
He's so weird. I know, and he has those cats now.
I don't know what's
and he's
going
like
on
a
with him.
weird like cat dad, and he's like, thugs get married too. That's what he said in one of his marriage.
Yeah, he's like, when
And I was
thugs get married, it's
like
like, what?
thugs get married too. I was like, brother, you think you're a thug?
Jeez, stop saying it, dude.
Oh,
because you know that video out there of him
much.
singing that N-word is like
Oh, he
crazy.
really
Just
thinks-
YouTube it. It's crazy.
Oh no, I've seen it.
It's bad. It's
I
really
know.
bad.
I like to forget about it.
You would. I don't. You people don't forget.
I forget. I don't forget. I don't forget. It's awful. I mean, like Justin Bieber is.
It's awful. I love how we always have to say how bad it is. And we always bring it up too. I don't know why. But
What do you say? We?
Well, because I just
you
had to-
bring it up literally every single time. Play back the tape.
I'm just saying though, people need to know that like he's
Everyone
out there living.
remembers it. I feel like people don't really forget. They're like, oh, remember that time he said hard R? And people are like, oh yeah, remember that time that he made fun of?
It wasn't saying it. He sang a whole song.
Yeah,
It was
and then remember that time that he just went blah 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 because he didn't remember the Spanish words to his top song.
dude, he's racist. It's crazy.
Yeah, of course he is.
Well, anyways, yeah. So, what else we got here?
So Wendy Williams, being Wendy Williams, just kind of lashed out at an audience member, like mid sentence. She was like doing her show, being like blah blah blah. Is someone's phone on?
Oh, girl's losing it.
And then she said, get out. And then she kind of, at least she stepped back a little bit. And she's like, but actually, I know the tickets are free, but like you have to have your phones out, like phones off, please. Like, blah, blah, blah. But it was like, she just like snapped. And I think like people like were going like, ooh. It's crazy like how adults like turn into children in like that second when they're like, someone's in trouble.
You know, so every time someone's like, "Hey, this person wants to see you in their office," it's always like,
Like,
"Ooh,
ooh, yeah.
oh."
Ooh.
Or if someone farts in a big room, everyone laughs. It doesn't matter if it's all like
Farts are, people who don't think like farts are inherently funny, I think, just need to like take life a little less seriously.
Well, it's not even real farts. Like if the ketchup bottle does it, like you have to try your hardest not to look at the person in the eye. Anywho, Wendy Williams, dude, like she really is like one little thread away from
she
losing
is
it.
Unstable.
Yo, unstable for sure. I'm here to watch it.
Oh, blessed be
no,
thy name.
that's kind of crazy. Also, what is this backlash on Ellen? I've been seeing around.
Ellen and her lovely wife Portia went to the Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers game this past weekend or past week or so. Where they got invited by Charlotte Jones, who's the daughter of Jerry Jones, who owns the Dallas Cowboys and the entire beautiful stadium known fondly as Jerry World. It's humongous. It's got the giantest screen.
Giantist, huh?
I've been there multiple times.
Giantist, is that a real word?
It's not. But so is the ridiculous of this of that stadium.
Ridiculous giantist. All right. Anyways.
Okay. Anyways, so they were spotted sitting right next to George W. and his wife Laura, and people.
Bush.
Yeah,
I'm just joking. I knew who you were talking about.
I was like,
George W.
George W. Everyone's gonna be like, who?
George W.
W. How do you spell that?
Yo, W. How do you spell W?
I would spell, if I'm spelling like how you pronounce W, Dubya. W. W.
I'll take it. So Ellen's sitting next to W.
And so people are like in it throwing a tizzy fit. Like people on the internet are like, how dare you, Ellen, sit next to that man, and like, don't you know what he stands for? And then, you know, of course, there's like the like all the conspiracy theories that, like, you know, 9/11 was an inside job, and that, like, you know, but like people just, you know, people don't like George W. Bush for plenty of reasons. I mean, just plenty. And you would think he's kind of almost an opposite to someone like Ellen. Ellen came back being like, you know, people thought it was weird that me, a liberal Hollywood star, was like sitting next to him. But like, you know, I have plenty of friends that have different views than me. You know, it's all about respect, blah, blah, blah. And like the Bushes were also like, obviously we respect them too. And like we were happy to like be able to hang out with them, whatever. So, but people like, you know, were throwing a fit about it. I mean, I've heard a lot of different things, whispers on the internet of how people who formerly worked for Ellen, or people who had formerly been on the Ellen show, who like weren't like, you know, famous people, have had bad experiences with Ellen. So
how so?
I just like that Ellen's like,
give us the tea.
I get sip, motherfuckers.
I'm sipping.
Sipping on gin. Anywho,
I got the crumpets. You bring the tea. Let's go.
That like people have just said that she's like not very kind, and that she's very mean to most people who work for her on set, or different things like that like also like I feel like
really, do you believe it?
I don't know if I believe it. I don't know what to believe, because, you know, I hear from, you know,
I feel like you'd be able to like catch that on tape or something.
You would think, but, you know, but then people also say that, you know, she's like out of touch with, she tries to be like, you know, a face for different things, but like she's actually so out of touch from like those different things. But like, I mean, I think Ellen does so much good in a lot of like in so many spaces. Like she raises money for different things. She helps be a good platform for people. So like, I don't really care. Like, and I don't really give a shit that she was placed next to like the Bushes. Like, it's like she was invited to sit in, you know, the nice ass seats, the box and whatever, by, you know, the owner's daughter. Like, it's not like she's like, oh yeah, sit me right next to George W. Bush. Like, I don't think she obviously cared. It doesn't really matter.
That's a president. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some level, like, you still, like, that's like a president. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, and like, I think we have bigger fish to fry, like our current president. So like, I don't really think like I don't know. Like, I think obviously like she had a very good PRE kind of speech afterwards, and like I don't disbelieve what she said. Like, obviously she does respect anybody. And
what I don't like is that everyone was like, oh my God, Ellen is like, you know, preaching, like, you know, you have to be kind to everyone, you know. It's like, all right, take that as a reminder and stuff, but like, what the hell? Like, that's like the goal, like the golden rule, like, isn't it? Like, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way it is. You honestly, what was I watching, or who was telling me, like, I forgot what it was, but like,
so all the elements,
everything that I've experienced in life has taught me. No, someone's mom, it was like in something where they were like, you know, we're talking, I think, about who you're nice to, and it's like, you know, even like you're like the person you need to be the nicest to is like your worst enemy, right? Like, show you the most love. Like, they're the ones that you need.
That's also like some mobster mentality, like, you know.
Well, keep your enemies close type shit.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, I think the people that are deserving of the most love are the ones that like that you that hate you the most. Like, you know, that's just like that's just the way it is. It's hard. It's very hard. But it's actually, once you can actually show people that you might disagree with that it's like all love, it's like a huge burden off your back, you know. So I don't really have an issue with her sitting next to George W. Bush. I'm not like huge into politics, and whether or not like the way I look at George W. Bush, I feel like it's hard to be a person that is likable and also to be the president of the United States. Like, I don't think
I mean, like, yeah, I don't even, like, even I loved Obama, like, with my whole heart. And there's, like, things that I don't think he did right. Like,
right.
There's obviously things that I don't like what he did.
Yeah.
But, like, do I think he's the bomb? Yeah.
Yeah, but I bet you anything, like, George W. Bush as president is way different than George W. Bush that's, like, going to smoke a joint with you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or paint
like,
a picture.
That's
That's his big thing is, like, what he's into is he paints a lot of portraits of his dogs and stuff.
Yeah, while he's smoking a doobie.
I don't really think he smokes doobies.
I think he does. You never heard the stories about George W. Bush before he became president? He was like the craziest party, like,
well, of course, he
animal.
was like a rich boy.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bush family is like, come on, Texas rich boys.
Yeah.
What?
Now he's out there just smoking on his ranch. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But yeah. So, what made you go yikes this past week?
I mean, I'll be honest. Like half the things I just said were kind of yikesy, and I was like, man. But I have a couple of yikes.
Okay. What made you go yikes? Oh, yikes.
Okay, so B.O.B. Who we haven't heard about in like a hot second, like airplanes.
He's from Atlanta.
Shooting stars.
Yeah, airplanes. We love airplanes.
I love that fucking song. And you love it.
Wish right now.
Yeah, it's got my girl Haley Williams on it. But any hoozles, there was a whole hoax that went around saying that he was dead, and like it was from a Facebook group, and like rip B.O.B. and like everyone was coming out of the woodwork being like, oh my God, B.O.B. blah 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 blah, and he got pissed about it.
Yeah, this is like the old Tom and Huck, Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, where they pretend they're dead and then they go to their funeral.
Wow, what a literary example to bring up, Sai.
All I'm saying is like they get into the roof and they see like their funeral and stuff happening and everyone's like sad. But it is true. Like I've always thought about that. It's one of those things that I try not to think about because it's a very morbid thing and it doesn't even matter. Once you're dead, like you won't even... It won't even matter like what people think about you and shit. Like, I cause you're dead, it doesn't matter to you. It's only like matters to the people that are left.
I know what you mean. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So essentially, you like to think like when you die, people are going to say all these nice things about you.
Yeah. Like
and all
you leave
stuff.
some sort of legacy,
But that's the thoughts and prayers mindset that we're living in right now with people just saying like, oh my God, like they just like are so quick to write things about people, and it's like you don't care. You didn't care when they were alive. Are you streaming? Do you really? Oh my God, I remember where I was the first time I heard B.O.B. Shut up. You don't like. I would be the same way too. We can't play the clip of him because there's a lot of vulgarity.
There's a lot of we can't play
a lot of explicit.
But he went
content.
off.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
But I would be pissed too. I'd be like, especially if like because nowadays it's really upsetting when like people are still alive. I'm sure it's like really annoying that people who are still alive and there's like a rumor that they're dead.
Morgan Freeman. I think he's been like. I think people.
Or what's his name? Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, he's
I feel
dead.
like poor like Morgan Freeman like every 5 seconds someone's like, oh, Morgan Freeman died, and he's like, nah, still here, dog.
Yeah,
but like he's like just so chill about it. And he's like,
no, still kicking. Don't you wish that on me? But like, I don't know. I just feel like it's messed up. Like people are like, and then B.O.B. like he was just like really mad about it because no one does care about B.O.B. right now. No one does. I seen him like not too long ago. Like he did a pop-up show here in Atlanta and stuff. And my friend Nicole, shout out to her, listener. She brought me to this pop-up show where he came in, did his whole thing. He's super talented. I just think like, the sound has kind of moved on from like that sound he used to have. So
I'm going to go back and listen to some old B.O.B.
B.O.B.'s good, man. Like he was one of the first people like I put on like YouTube when I worked at the radio station. He came to the radio station. I was a huge fan of him then. Asked him a bunch of questions and stuff.
You.
Just look at the old tube. It's on there. But
the tube.
Yeah. What's it called? What else we got there? What else made you go yikes?
Okay, so there's like a little bit of beefing, I guess, happening between Drake, Aubrey Graham, and his dad.
And the Graham fam?
Yeah, the Graham fam. Oh, so I guess his dad had gone on a Nick Cannon show.
Yeah.
And on the radio, and Drake had made different, like Drake had talked about different things, talked about his childhood with like his parents and like how it was hard, like how the way he grew up and whatever, and like,
essentially like Drake rapping in songs about like growing up without a dad,
like
and how hard those struggles were and stuff like that. And then Drake's dad was on the show.
Drake's dad was like, "Yo, like this ain't it. Like this isn't the truth." Like I kind of like I talk to Drake all the time. I even like
I was there.
And like I even asked him like, why are why are you writing these things? Like, this kind of isn't fair to me. And he was like, oh, and Drake told me that, this sells records, Dad. And so then Drake took to his Instagram and it was like, oh, it's, like, it's crazy, like, that my dad will say anything to anyone that's willing to listen to him. He's like, it's sad when family gets like this. And then he talked about, how, everything that he's, all of his bars that he's written are the truth about that situation. So,
my thoughts are, first of all,
yes, give us your thoughts.
Well, a situation like that would have two perspectives, right? So
as we're seeing right now.
Well, I guess the most important perspective is Drake's perspective because he was the kid, right? It really, in Drake's dad's mind, he could have been like, he could have been there.
Maybe he thought he was
there.
Enough.
Saying just because he checked up on him like once or twice a week or something like that, or every other day or something. Like he was like, I was there. What are you talking about? But in Drake's perspective, he could have like, that wasn't enough or something. It felt like he was missing, and probably in big moments where he could have used his dad and he wasn't there and stuff. So, my issue with it is that like I don't feel like Drake needs to be like tweeting about that, and I don't think his response like makes me feel better about the whole situation on Drake's side or anything. I would have just been like, I would have explained it like that, like, yo, my pop's perspective on me growing up is different from mine, and I respect him. He's around now, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Boom.
I know. I guess like
his parents are gonna say stupid stuff, especially as they grow older. Like it's just like they're just like they lose sense of self-awareness. Like you know what I'm saying, especially. Like family self-awareness or how you make your family look. Like they only care about like the way they look at some level, and it, like I get it, like they had to worry about you like your whole life, most parents, and that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, like I see, like obviously, like Drake, says like he's like woke up today so hurt, man, like with the whole, and then like the whole like my father's willing to say anything to anyone. I feel like that's a little petty. I could see him feeling hurt and like being like, man, like, especially like I feel like Drake is constantly questioned in the music world, like questioned for being too sensitive, questioned for being whatever. And I'm sure I feel like he's the kind of guy that's always feeling like he's like, oh, like now my dad's saying this, like that I like everything I do is just like to sell more records, which is like, well, technically.
Well, I don't even want to hear about Drake talking about any daddy issues because it sounds like he's already starting up his own issues with his own son. You know what I'm saying? That's no way to. His son came into this world with a rap beef, and that's how the world found out about him and stuff. Where is this kid? Is there a picture of Drake and his son?
I would love to know. Where's Adonis?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So Drake, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
Just keep it all like
kettle pot,
ooh,
that kind of stuff, I totally messed that up, everybody, but you know what I meant.
I know, kettle pot.
Pot, meat, kettle. That's what I was trying to say. All
right, so what do we want as our main topic here? Why don't we ever talk about this?
I was trying to, and then you're like, I think we're ready to go. And I'm like, we're gonna roll.
We're ready. I like kind of like choosing on the spot though. You pick us.
Okay.
This one's yours.
So do you think, with the whole Miley Cyrus situation, what do you think, like, do you think there is, rebound periods? Do you think, like, what is, like, with her whole situation, like, do you think she's, like, rushing into this?
Okay. And when it comes to celebrities and regular people, I think it's different.
Okay.
So I'm talking in regular people terms.
I would love to hear that.
I think there's some celebrities that listen to this podcast, but mostly it's regular people, right?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and regular people's like situations, I think it's when you're dating someone, there's a period where I still think you should be mindful of the other person. A very short period. I would give it probably.
I think it also depends on how long the relationship was.
Yeah, but then you give that like a number, like a a formula or something, like, you know, and it shouldn't be so cookie cutter where like just because you guys dated for 3 years that means you get like 6 months. Like,
I think
you know,
it could be like a guesstimate. I feel like it doesn't have to fit that, but I feel like you could kind of be like, okay, like you're just like as you're supposed to, like you're allowed to feel like kind of shitty about a breakup for about that same amount of time. So I feel like there's like, I think the window for like when you should, you know, bop over somebody might be a little bit different from like how long you feel shitty about a breakup, because I feel like you could still, some of that sadness or whatever could seep into maybe your next relationship. Hopefully you can like work on yourself enough to like make that better about yourself and whatever. But I definitely feel like
my issue with people jumping into relationships, my biggest issue I think with it, and I would love to hear if you have a different opinion, but if a person goes into a relationship like right after like a month, I don't think it's fair to the other person that they're dating if they had just met them after breaking up, because I feel like that's just like a rebound. Like a person doesn't even mourn like a relationship or like, you know, all that type of stuff right away. Secondly, I think also that there's a very good possibility that this person had already been thinking about this person in another relationship. And there's nothing I hate more than someone just like, you know, as just because they're interested in someone else, warming up that one and then cooling down this one just to like, you know, break up and go into
keeping someone on the back burner and then switching them. Yeah, no, I definitely, I mean, someone close to me kind of was in, I mean, now they've been dating the person that kind of used them as a rebound for a very, very long time. But definitely I remember when it first happened to them, I wasn't very comfy with it because like this person, you know, would go to him and like cry to him about like her current relationship, and then but like she was still dating, like they were like good friends, but like he like was into her for all of this because like she was like treating him like, you know, sort of like a pseudo boyfriend. And then she finally broke up like with her crazy ex-boyfriend, her now crazy ex-boyfriend, and then like pretty much immediately started dating this guy. So it just kind of was like, I remember that always felt like kind of icky to me.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, excited about like, because he had liked her, he was excited to like start dating her and like whatever. I was like, this feels like icky because like you're just like, she, you know, finally got her way out of like kind of a badish situation. Like I think her ex wasn't, I mean, he wasn't a great guy, but like, but I was just like, but like if she, like I would almost like, I feel like she needed more time to kind of like get herself straight before hopping right into something, which made it kind of unfair for that guy because then like he has to deal with, you know, her not growing out of like some maybe old tendencies or her like having to recalibrate because like she had it's like sometimes like some toxic things happening just because she never fully got over
should have
that
took a step back and like been like okay, so what did I learn here, you know, before I go into like taking this into another thing. Like I honestly think it's rough out there because like a lot of times I see people break up and like it's typically the girl. I don't know why, but maybe it's from a boy's perspective, but the girl will like post like things like with a guy like right away.
Because I feel like a lot of women, like this really isn't my jam, but like a lot of women love the idea of like posting something to like make the other person jealous, because if they still have some residual feelings, even if they were the one who maybe initiated the breakup, they might still have some residual feelings. And I feel like a lot of times they're then posting something to be like, well, look at how happy I am, like blah blah. It's like always like something to prove.
Yeah, no, I think that's the biggest part. I think I don't know what the time is, because like if you don't start dating somebody else, the feelings could like linger on for a really long time.
It's like, but I feel like you can like still, you know, use like, I feel like there's other activities.
I think there's benefits in dating other people after you've dated something. Like it could get you over the person.
Yeah, but it's like you have to also think about
put
like
a nail in the coffin like of that relationship.
But it's like you have to also be mindful of like the other person in the relationship, because it's like you don't want to potentially just use someone to like benefit your own feelings just because you're like, oh, I'm feeling shitty, I need to like make like I don't feel like it's really fair for you to get your closure at someone else's expense. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also then you got to think about it from the flip side. You know that there's those people out there just like vultures waiting for you to break up. The second they start seeing like, you know what I'm saying? So there's people out there waiting, you know what I'm saying, that been heart-eyeing your pictures.
Like that's like even like that's my example. Like he was like low key, like not like he wasn't like very vulture-y, but like, you know, he had been, you know, fulfilling boyfriend duties. So he was like, oh, like I'm ready to just slide right in. So
yeah, the breakup vulture.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think like it's just like it's so many guys are waiting for a girl, like, you know what I'm saying, to break up with their boyfriend.
Break up with your boyfriend.
So it's like there's not even like a space. Like, okay, so say I like the girl. Say she's dating some guy that I think like
is trash.
Yeah, he's trash, dude. You know what I'm saying?
But of course, I feel like if you like somebody that much, like you're gonna think anybody that they're with is trash potentially.
True, but like you can honestly see if a guy like if you're a good person, you could see that this guy is just not good to this person. This girl just like likes him, like, you know, for whatever her reasons are or whatever. But say they break up. How long do you give until you can go and swoop in and like try to like, you know?
That's the magic question.
Well, that's the magic question because there is the loser that will swoop in there that night.
Yeah, like,
and then you won't even have a chance because like you're the good guy that is waiting for like 2 weeks for them to like kind of like fizz out.
If like, you know, if you're actually like the good guy and like she like the girl like, you know, actually like wants to be with somebody worth her while and like actually that she might have like a connection with or whatever, and not like some skeezy skis who's like just trying to like, you know, get it in.
I think it's like hard for a girl to like realize that in a vulnerable state though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a nice cute guy comes up and it's like, would you like to hang out now that you can? Like a week later.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think it depends on the person. I think it depends on the situation with the breakup for sure. Like maybe if
you were cheated on.
Maybe if you're cheated on or like whatever, yeah, you might like be a little bit more like you might be hopping right to somebody afterwards because you're like, well, that relationship ended a long time ago in his mind, so why not?
Yeah, as a single guy for as long as I've been, like one of the most irritating things is like, you know, you like girls and you think you'd have like a chance and you're gonna like, you know, I think there's something to be said about a guy actually being like letting a girl know that he's interested. But I just have I just feel like skeezy about doing it like right after a breakup. So it's like, you know, I kind of want to catch you like later on, but then there's always another guy. There's always a guy that will come in and you'll never have a chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's only been like 2 weeks. How did like this happen already?
I guess like I'm a big believer in like everything happens for a reason. So if like that, I guess like if, you know, they decide to like take up that more skeezy person or whatever and then like never give you a chance, then like maybe
I believe in everything happens for a reason, but like at some level isn't like some assertiveness and like required?
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying like
so like I mean,
but like, I'm saying like if you getting in later into the situation that and then it just doesn't pan out, like I guess I'm saying that like if you were doing your like due diligence to be like, hey, like I'd feel gross, you know, sliding in right away, but I am gonna like slide in maybe a week later, then, you know, then I think you're doing.
Does it matter though? Does that week matter?
I think
like if you broke up with someone.
If I broke up with someone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think like when I broke up, it kind of depends. Like you know, I had like a casual situation that I slid right into. So it was very much so like wasn't real dating right after I broke up with somebody, but it wasn't like this person like came to me and was like, hey, I want to date you. It was just more like we met and then it was a very casual, but I don't think I really brought myself to start dating somebody for like or try to like actually go on dates or like maybe accept dates and for like maybe I don't know, like I had only dated that person for 4 months, so maybe I didn't like accept the idea of like dates or being set up on dates or whatever for like maybe like a month.
Yeah. No, because I mean I was having this conversation with somebody about they're like, you know, I have to like I can't do this be with this girl anymore because like I know she's not going to be like my wife. And what if I'm like I go to a party and I bring her and like my future wife is there and like we don't get to connect because I'm with this girl. And I was like, yeah, but like, you know, everything happens for a reason, right? Like their thinking was completely different. Like, no, like you're like not setting yourself up for
but then
the acceptance
like,
of it.
I guess like my thing is like then they just need to stop dating that person. Like I feel like that's like a whole.
No, that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. He's like, you know, he was just using this as an example. Like, you have to stop dating this person, but because like.
I mean, I've heard of different people who have met, like...
I'm a little sick, I'm sorry.
Their people, like, have met, like, their person actually while on, like, other dates with people and, like, whatever. So, like...
Still possible.
It could work, you know. You might end up, you like, realizing, oh, like, this was
That's what my argument was. It was, like, you could actually meet your wife still dating somebody else. Like, if it's, like...
Yeah, and then you might, like, circle back to them. Yeah, I mean, like, I
hear it all the time.
Yeah, that definitely happens.
Be like, yeah, this person used to date my
like,
best
think
friend.
about it. Like, there's plenty of people who were, like, high school sweethearts, then lost touch, and then, like, find each other again when they're, like, in their 50s and stuff. Like, after they've maybe already been married or, like, whatever, and then, like, remarry, and, like, they're like, oh, this
is that weird that I feel like that's going to be, like, my life?
You think you're going to, like, marry the wrong... You think you're going to have multiple marriages?
No. I think, like, in the future, like, when I'm,
Bachelor.
like, I'll still... Oh, future bachelor. Nice. In the future, I'm still going to be a bachelor, but, like, I'm going to, like, end up, like, probably marrying somebody that's been in another marriage, and, like, we're just, like, are old, and, like, we're like, oh, shit, we're, like, perfect now for each other. Like, it's all about timing, right?
I guess, yeah.
It's all about timing. Like, I feel like timing is everything. You could meet, like, the right person at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah. And then I just feel like, yeah, you could definitely meet, like, the right person at the wrong time. And then later on, the time is right.
Yeah, but or the time is right for one person and it's wrong for the other.
Yeah.
You know, like you have everything together, the other person doesn't. And then you get all your stuff together and then that person's not available anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's all about timing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I just like, I feel like life is like that where all the pieces just have to fall into place. I think the only thing we can do as human beings is really just try to better ourselves as people and try to help other people. Like, you know, that's the only thing we can do to live a happy life and just to put everything else.
Bare minimum. That's like what you have. Like, cause I'm definitely a control freak and I mean, my largest anxieties are just tied to the fact that I don't know what's going to happen, like, for different things, like, like, sometimes I've, like, stressed about, like, you know, before I got my job or, like, whatever, I'd be like, well, I would, like, have such high anxiety because I didn't know, like, what was going to happen, or just, like, even with relationships, I feel like a lot of times it's, like, kind of tied to, like, this idea of, like, okay, well, when is this thing going to happen? When is that thing going to happen? It's, like, it's really hard, like, to step back and be like, you know, like, you don't really have that much control over a lot of elements that people worry about.
Right,
you know? Like,
right.
You can only control yourself and how you communicate.
And social media, like, helps, like, you know, hurts us a little bit more in that sense where we are comparing our lives to everybody's, like,
every
hype
single
reel,
fucking
you know?
day, yeah.
So it's like, you know, I don't know. To me, there's nothing more sexier besides attractiveness and just sex in general. But, like, there's nothing more attractive and sexier to me about a girl that's, like, you know, bettering herself, like, physically, or just, like, super into things and, like, the things that she's into, she's like, for whatever it is. If she's in politics, if she's into, like, you know, gardening, or like into dancing, whatever it is, you just are like, you got a thing and you're killing it in life and stuff. There's just, you know, so I could see why timing is, like, so important, is because, like, those things are attractive to people and not everybody's at that same place in their life at the same time. So it's just kind of like you have to the stars have to align for things, and there's so many different stars that have to align, you know. So I think if we were to go back and circle back to the top where what is like too soon or whatever, I think when you're not worrying about the other person anymore, like, there has to be like a period of time where you, like, mourn, like, your last relationship, and you kind of, like, put that to bed, like, you know what I'm saying, where you're not talking about them anymore, you're not bringing them up in every situation.
You don't want to be going into, like, a first date with somebody
and talking, like, about your ex,
and then, like, talking about the ex, like, comes up. Yeah, like, that's always, like, to me, that's, like, kind of a red flag.
It is
On a first date, yeah.
on a first date. What if you're asked though?
I feel like if you're asked, then it's fine. But like, I feel like that it would have to naturally be something that came up in conversation. But if someone's
Or
just
when you're like, I'd rather talk about you today. We could talk about that on a second date.
yeah, something like that's fine. Yeah, I think because like I feel like it. Yeah, it shouldn't be like somebody shouldn't just be like outwardly on a first date. Like,
Yeah,
like,
but I feel
well,
like
yeah, well, my ex, like, just
True, but I feel like the ex conversation tells you a lot about that person.
Well, yeah,
you kind of want to know. Like,
I feel like it's definitely important, but like you don't want to be the person on a date just like blabbing on and on about your ex. Like
Right.
that's like not cute. Like you want to be able to like. I feel like it's like a couple of dates in situation being like, well, it's like supposed to like, you want it to be more of like, well, I learned from this past relationship or like whatever, like I was treated this way or that way by an ex or like I had an ex that like whatever. Like I feel like it should be framed. Like you don't want to be the one talking about an ex because you're like, oh, well, my ex, like you want it to be framed more in that mindset of being like, okay, like, you know, like this is how I am because like I learned these things.
yeah. Now that we're talking about like first dates and stuff, how do you know how like if you go in for a job interview and your resume has like a gap in like work like experience or something, like what was happening in these 3 years? Do you think that's bad that you're like single for 3 years, like to somebody?
No, I don't think so. Like, cause
Really, people are like, why isn't like there has to be something wrong with him? Like, you know, he seems perfect, but
I feel like, yeah, people definitely get into that mindset, like mind space, like if for somebody who's maybe been single for a long time or they're still single at a certain age or whatever. And like people are like, okay, well, like what are they doing? And I feel like, I don't know if that's like super fair to like put on people because like people's lives like have way different timelines, like depending
it's all about timing.
Like depending on like what they were doing and like, you know, maybe they need like, you know, and plus like, I mean, if you've been single, let's say for 3 years, that doesn't mean like you weren't like dating around. It doesn't mean like you have like, it might mean you have like no dating experience, like if you're going into like your first relationship, but like if you've been in relationships, whatever, I think that's more important, like being like, oh, well, I then took this time to like, I feel like if it's like you were using that time to figure like, you know, advance your career or better yourself in other ways or like start whatever, things like that, I feel like that is like what somebody should be judging you based off of and not off of the fact like, oh, well, you haven't dated anybody in 3 years. Like that's like not totally true either. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I just had to ask that question, you know, for a friend. Yeah, for a friend.
For a friend, yeah.
So,
Third party.
well, that was a pretty good discussion, huh?
Yeah.
You know, we're keeping a list of all of our topics that we don't talk about, right? For other main topics.
Oh yeah, I just copy and paste them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well get in our slapper of the week.
No.
What? No?
I wanted to do a quick thing because it's news.
Okay.
And
What happened?
so Peter is filming, you know, his season of The Bachelor right now. He was in Costa Rica, and he like fell. I think he fell getting off of a golf cart, and he fell onto like 2 cocktail glasses onto his face, and so
Jesus.
they like cut up. He got 22 stitches on his face and head, and they said like they had to like send him to like a different hospital to like perform like specialized for his injuries. Yeah, when I read that, I was like, okay, so they wanted to make sure they had a good like cosmetic surgeon on staff to like get it looking as clean and quick as they can because he's
on TV
trying to be recording some more stuff. So it's like it's totally like a freak accident, 100. But he's totally fine now, and production's still rolling. I mean, like they don't quit. So
yeah, and also this is gonna be this is like the fence jumping for him. It's
this
like
could be
this is the episode where he breaks his face.
Or yeah, do you remember the one? I guess this might be before you started watching me. There's the one season. It might have been Desiree's season. I don't remember, but
yeah,
there was like a contestant that right after she kicked him off, he went home and like went on this crazy hike, and he like got into like this, I think he like fell from like some cliff or something and died.
Oh my god.
And like then they had like a whole thing on the show, like they had to stop production for like a half a second or like whatever to like do this whole thing. Like she like I think went back to the family. It was a whole thing.
Why? Because they thought maybe he committed suicide.
No, I don't remember. It was so long ago.
That's
now.
crazy.
But like no, like he didn't commit suicide, but like it was the whole thing. But like yeah, it's kind of crazy because like I feel like because of like how these shows get so over
That's the money
dramatized, like you kind of forget like oh these are like real people like that could fall and like actual bad things can happen to them like whatever.
Got to put them in a helmet or a bubble or something. So yeah, well thank you for letting us know about that Bachelor report.
Always.
Our Bachelor correspondent off season. Okay, so our slapper of the week comes from another one of my favorite artists right now is LAUV. We had a slapper of his a couple weeks back. And he just dropped this one this past weekend. It's called Sims. Shout out to Sims.
It comes on back.
Even when we forget, he's always remembered. So, but yeah, no, the song's called Sims. Obviously, it's about the Sims game. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I was growing up, Sim City.
Did you play The Sims a lot?
Well, when I was growing up, there was no Sims. There was Sim City.
There was Sim City when I was growing up.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying there was no Sims when I was there. Like the original Sims was Sim City, where you made like the whole city and stuff. And then they made like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, those.
And then they made Sims, where it was like you were just like people, and you made like a whole town, and it was just kind of like weird. I actually still don't know what that is, but
I don't really. Okay, so I never like really played Sims on my own. I always like would go over to my friends.
I think my sister played Sims.
I would go over to my friend's house, like growing up, like in elementary school, like middle school, whatever, and I'd like watch her play.
Yeah.
I didn't ever play. And then like in college, it was like there was a weird resurgence when I was
Who would
in
ever
college.
thought that watching video games was a thing?
It was such a thing.
Yeah.
Well, especially like with my younger brothers, because like the game systems were theirs, and if it was a game that they just didn't want me to play, they would just be like, "Oh, you could watch." And I'd be like, what?
It's funny because like I'll go like playing like golf or like disc golf with my big group of friends. Everyone's like, "Let's go," and like I'm like, "Yeah, let's go," and I'm just like, I'm the caddy. And I'll just like carry like all the drinks because I can drink, and then like I'll carry the music because I get to play the music, and I'll hold people's things and stuff. But it's like just fun to watch my friends have a good time because I'm with around my friends and stuff. So that's my Sims. But
Frolf, if you will.
Yeah, in the woods. But yeah, so the song's called Sims, and he produced it and wrote this song, and I think it's really good. I just like his voice and his style of songs and stuff. So it's our slapper of the week called Sims by LAUV, and we're just gonna play it right now. So let's go.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
Slapper.
But we're both at some.
Yeah, slapper of the week, Sims by LAUV. What'd you think? It's a little bop, It
is a little bop.
I think
a little bop.
It's kind of funny because I feel like, people are making these songs a little shorter now. Like that felt like it came and went real quick.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that was the full song.
Yeah.
I thought you like ended it early.
No, I didn't. I think he ended it early. So.
Oh.
Yeah. You gotta do shout outs, V. What do you got? Who you got?
I wanted to shout out. Well, first, I'm a bad sister, and I forgot to shout out my brother Frank for his birthday last week.
Shout out to Bad Sisters.
But yeah, he turned 25.
Okay.
So
now he can drink.
Yeah.
He can get, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
He lives like in Seattle. He goes to school in Seattle, so like when they would go on their formals for frat stuff, like they'll go to like Vancouver or whatever because it's right up there, and you only have to be 19 to drink there.
Oh, he's a bad boy, huh?
So
bad boy.
But bad
what you gonna
guy.
do? He's a bad guy. Yeah.
Duh.
This is so good.
Anyways, I wanted to also shout out my best friend Michelle.
Hey, dude.
Michelle Gross, because she is the bomb. And I haven't shouted her out in a while, and I just like her a lot.
Cool.
And then I wanted to shout out my friend Jackson for always giving me some funny Snapchats, Jackson Davis, because he knew how to lift my spirits when I was feeling a little down recently. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Jackson. All right. Well, this past week, I was on one of the company's radio stations. I was invited to
the company.
As a millennial, I was invited to be part of this game show called Millennial Matchup and Millennial Match Game. And essentially, with this match game, you put a millennial on the radio. We go down to the studio, and Mark Aram, shout out to him and his producer Deb. I'm gonna give it an air horn right now. Debbie, what up? They put a millennial on the air, and they ask you questions, and they have two contestants who are not millennials. They're like older gentlemen, or they could be female, I'm sure. But there were two guys, and essentially I get asked the question, and Mark asked them if they think I'm gonna get it right or wrong. Yeah. Like, it's a question where it's like a millennial might not know.
Yeah, because you want to match how the OG match game works is that there's always like two celebrity or whatever people who then there's a whole other, there's two people playing, and then there's a whole panel of like celebrities or whatever, and you would want to match whoever closely matched like their question. So like for this, like their answer for this, it's like they want to match like if you're gonna be right or not.
Right. So essentially, I was on the show, and I got to actually shout out the podcast on there,
which was dope.
Yeah. And also, what's my favorite movie? Back to the Future.
Who would have guessed? It's not like he's talked about it a bajillion times.
Who would have thought that I would get the Back to the Future question? They don't know how much I like Back to the Future. So I'm going to play a clip from the show.
I know they don't. I'm saying the people who listen to this show do.
Right. I'm going to play a clip from the show. It's a little fun. So y'all hear it a little. And it's also available online, the whole one. So.
All right, here we go. The famous TV or movie automobile is the DeLorean DMC-12. DeLorean DMC-12. What famous TV or movie automobile is that from? Will Cy, the millennial, know? The DeLorean DMC-12.
I think he's pretty sure he's going to know this one.
I think so, too.
Yes.
Sure. DeLorean, I could just say DeLorean. You probably know what it is, right?
Well, I did mention my podcast earlier, and it's called Future Bachelor.
Yes.
It was actually named after my favorite movie called Back to the Future.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
All right, you
they
got
call
it
me
right.
the Brown Marty McFly. So.
Back to the Future.
Time machine.
Out of a DeLorean. Good job.
Oh my God.
So guys, from now on, if you see Cy in these streets, you gotta be like, "Hey, is that Brown Marty McFly?
Yo, is that fly kid? That brown Marty McFly? Yeah, they call me the Brown Marty McFly.
I'd love to meet these they.
Oh, shut up. So yeah, if you guys, I hope I'm a regular on this show now. They really like my appearance on the Millennial Match Game, so I'm trying to get V to come down and do it.
I would think I'd have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so maybe we'll hear a V clip here in the near future. But I wanted to shout out to them. So shout out, thank you for having me. Who else did I have? I also wanted to shout out my friend Raina. She just came into town this weekend. She was actually one of the people that I was dancing with on Friday night.
Wow, so much dancing.
Yeah, I wanted to shout her out because I was wanting to see her while she was in town, and I got a chance to. So it was really nice to see you, and I hope to see you again soon. And also, I wanted to shout out. Oh no, that was it. That was the end of my shout outs.
Nobody else.
Nobody else gets one. Maybe next week. Okay, so. Next week, V, I don't have really that many plans for this weekend. It's Gay Pride here in Atlanta, so I'll be here celebrating with my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But what are you up to? Where are you going?
I'm going home.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to
Does it
Como.
sound like I set you up to?
I'm going to, yeah.
You know where I'm going, Si.
I'm going to Como, as I like to call it. I'm going to
Kokomo?
No, I'm going to
We'll
Columbia.
get there faster if we take it slow.
Okay, anyways. I'm going to Columbia, Missouri, going to Mizzou, going to Homecoming, the OG Homecoming Celebrators.
I made her fact check it before the show. Apparently,
Trivial Pursuit, Jeopardy, an episode of NCIS, and Wikipedia all say it's most likely us because
most likely
Illinois and like some other universities no, it was definitely us. But like Jeopardy.
So they invented Homecoming.
We invented Homecoming, so
That's
it's gonna
crazy.
be litty titty. I leave tomorrow.
Nice.
I've been drinking a shit ton of water this entire week just
Really?
to prepare my body.
Yeah, water, hydrate. It's
Water.
It's key. Well, that's awesome. I'm probably gonna have some more dance stories. Hopefully this weekend.
So is next week's outline just gonna say dancing for your thing?
Dancing again.
And I'm gonna dance.
More dancing.
Two dance, two furious.
Yo, that's hilarious. They call me Paul Dancer. Get it?
Fuck you.
Nah, yo, dude, get it?
I do.
Not walking. Dancer. Paul Dancer. Oh my
Too
god.
soon.
Too soon. Give me a break.
Very sad about.
I don't know. I couldn't think of one for Vin Diesel. But anywho, all right, guys, that's been episode 81 of Future Bachelor. Catch us next week with episode 82 because that's how
numbers work.
So we love you guys. This has been Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
Oh, I'm.
Jesus.
I was spacing out.
Wow. Hold on a second. Let's bring it back a little bit.
I was like, oh, blah, blah. I was like thinking of things.
Yeah, guys, 81 and next week episode 82 because that's
how numbers work.
Oh, man, we love you guys. This has been Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
Thank God. And we will see you next week, all right? Deuces!
Bye!
Future Bachelor Podcast.